Yeah.
Yeah, you started by telling me about the Charles Darwin theory of natural selection. Now, I would just want to make some comments about his theory. Now, he said that all living organisms actually originate from a common ancestor. That's what he said. So he actually drew the tree of life. That's what he did, all right, in his book on Origin of Species. Now, it's important to note that that his book Origin of Species, that his tree of life was actually modified. Okay, there were punctuations along the line by Michael Michael Sivanin, who was a molecular biochemist. Okay, who actually found that his tree of life was not true. Okay, because we had some species, okay, of organisms which did not actually fit the tree. So there were some punctuations along, okay, the tree of life wasn't continuous. That's the first thing. Now the second thing is the fossil evidence that we have. Now there's something we call the Cambrian explosion, all right, in the world of biology. It's kind of a biological big bang, okay, where you have sudden appearance of new species of organism, okay, like the trilobites, okay. If you want to use Darwin's species, okay, Darwin's theory of evolution through natural selection, you will not be able to explain the presence of trilobites, okay, which existed some 500 million years ago. So it's important to note that this Darwin theory of natural selection has actually been refuted by a lot of scientists, all right, a lot of microbiologists.
Hold
It's
up.
even at times people doubt the authenticity of it.
I'm sorry. Wait.
Okay.
I don't know if you're asking a question. When you say refute, are you saying Charles Darwin's theory of evolution is wrong?
Yeah, we are saying that this idea that all living organisms actually came from a common ancestry. There is a problem with that, a very serious problem with that statement made
You
by
you
Charles
mentioned
Darwin. Okay,
you
which
mentioned the fact you mentioned something about punctuations, right?
yes, yes,
It the scientific community, right, is
yes,
even lucky to talk about to have had anthropologists and archaeologists who found different fossils that represent different human subspecies that actually show our common ancestry. Of course, there's always going to be what you might call intermediaries. You can because you cannot find all the subspecies. These fossils, fossils are not people do not keep fossils for future generations to come and see. Fossils are formed at times serendipitously, at times, that the organism just died at the right place or during in the right where you could have sedimentary rocks formed. So you would always have these some intermediaries, but that doesn't imply that evolution is wrong. Evolution, your field
no,
of
no, we
biology,
didn't
your
say,
field.
we didn't say evolution is wrong. Okay, what we are saying is that the idea of all living species having a common ancestry. Okay, that is where our problem is. Evolution, I believe in evolution. Evolution is something that's real. Okay, it's happening. It happens. It's still happening. All right. We believe that. But the question is that where is the creation in evolution? That's the problem. That's the question we're asking. Where's the creativity in evolution?
uh, evolution, the process of evolution itself is the process that creates, that gives rise to the organism. Your field, you're a medical doctor, you understand biology, you understand the human system. Your field, DNA itself, you understand how DNA mutates during replication. You have a single, you know the implication of a single mutation. It could have very significant effect in the organism, just one mutation. You have a very long period of time where you have pressures, environmental pressures on these organisms. You have the mutation at the level of the DNA. And then when you look all organisms, all living organisms, you see that they have DNA in them. They have, and when the more anatomical similar an organism is with the human, you see that there's also that similarity at the level of the DNA. The more you go, so in terms, we would say, why are chimpanzees? Why do humans share 98 to 99% similarity with chimpanzees, and probably share very little with mosquitoes or maybe or cockroaches? No, let me use different animals. Take a look at the chimpanzee. Have you seen a chimpanzee? Have you seen a chimpanzee? Have you seen the anatomical structure of a chimpanzee? Does it in any way resemble something familiar with Homo sapiens? Of course it does. It's not a mistake. Of course it does.
No, the big question I want to pose now is, okay, why is the DNA of the chimpanzee, all right, different from that of a mosquito? If they actually have similar ancestry, that's a question. That's a big question you're asking. Because if you want to use the knowledge of natural selection to explain the origin of species, it definitely means that all species, okay, they have a common ancestry. Definitely means that they have to share something in common.
Of course, they share the DNA. The DNA in common. We'll talk about what level of similarity. When we talk about similarity,
the DNA of a mosquito is completely different from that of a chimpanzee. Let me give you an.
Of course, it's different. Of course,
I'll give you this finding.
Yes, it's
now,
different.
Chimpanzees are a little bit further away from man. Okay, I'll use the Neanderthals. Okay, the Neanderthals. The Neanderthal gene, all right, is commonly present with I think 2% of Asians, okay, and Europeans. They have Neanderthal genes, okay, and then 2% of their genome, okay, is a Neanderthal gene. They are the least, okay, they are the closest to man, which we can think of. But Africans, all right, Africans don't have it. Africans don't have that gene. They don't have it at all, completely. It's not there. This cow comes with, this is now the big question. If what scientists claim to be our brothers, all right?
Not brothers, I mean, not brothers. I don't know if you're using biological terms or even if they're just, you're using it metaphorically. But I don't know what you mean by
metaphor, okay? It's metaphor. It's metaphor. If they say
even with the metaphor, even with, you want to use something like, make your point, you want to use something like distant cousins. Again, it's very important.
Whatever I want to use, at least at the point, at the end of the day, there is something called a relationship. That's what I'm trying to do. If they are actually telling us that we share a relationship with this particular set of people and we don't have the genome of that persons, they mean that the theory of that idea of creation through evolution has a problem.
The case of the Neanderthals evolving in Europe, as you know, all humans evolved from Africa. That's why there's a huge diversity in Africa. All humans on Earth, everyone that you see, Asia, Europe, they're all from Africa. Their ancestry from Africa. So the Neanderthal is local to Europe. So, and you see, we are talking about different human subspecies. We are talking about modern humans. We're looking at about 100 to 200,000 years of ancient Homo sapien, archaic Homo sapien, and modern day Homo sapien, and then we're going back. The point, I address the point about the punctuations that you talk about, and that doesn't negate I've talked about the reason you mentioned. You asked a question: why is there this similarity between the DNA of a chimpanzee and an insect, for example? Of course, once you have that diversity, once you have that branching, the more mutation occurs and the more time passes, you have this evolution by natural selection. You have these organisms evolving to fit their natural environment for survival. So that is what is happening, and every organism is evolving in its environment for survival. So that is how the DNA begins to separate, becomes dissimilar. So that is the point about that dissimilarity at level of DNA between chimpanzee and an insect, for example.
Okay. Well, if you say so, that we are missing fossil evidence, all right, to bring out that similarity between a mosquito and a chimp. For example, I'm just using that as an example. Okay. Now the question I want to ask is the appearance of trilobites. All right, trilobites. Okay, 5 million years ago. Okay, fossil evidence, archaeological findings are actually they found out the presence of trilobites, okay, which suddenly appeared, all right, in a tree of life. Suddenly, I call it the Cambrian. Trilobites are just one of the species that appear, okay. There are other species like the Hallucigenia, okay, who actually appeared all of a sudden. They couldn't provide explanation to that using natural selection. That's the question you're asking. That if true natural selection actually took place, all right, it's actually the root for evolution of creation. The question is, okay, how did this come into picture? Because this is the biggest problem in natural selection, the Cambrian explosion, okay, the biological Big Bang.
Are you arguing that natural selection did not take place?
I'm saying that it took place, but there is no creativity in it.
Once you say creativity,
I'm actually saying that
yes,
evolution, all right, within categories, all right, it's happening. Evolution within category is happening, but evolution between
when you say categories, what do you mean? You can use your biology. You can use biological terms. We both understand biology.
When I say evolution within categories, right? I'm saying that
within species.
This species, okay. Let me use okay. A particular species, okay, was actually created by a designer, by an intelligent mind. They didn't just appear spontaneously. They were created by an intelligent mind. And then over time, okay, they have been evolving, all right, by the process of natural selection. That has been happening. I accept. But telling me that organisms
so you
have been evolving between all species, there's interspecies evolution. I think there is a problem with that. Even the biology evolutionists, okay, still have a problem with that. The biogenetics personnel have a serious problem with that. The idea of everything, okay, starting from nothing. In other words, not even everything starting from nothing. The idea of modern man, all right, actually coming from simple organisms. It's something which all of us are trying to understand. Genetics have tried their best. Microbiologists, they have tried their best. And we are still boiling back to the same question. All right?
I mean,
how did it take place?
This is science, right? Science progresses by questioning. There are debates within science. There is the famous debate, or not necessarily debate, but this extension. Science is always progressive. We know the case of Einstein, Newton, and Albert Einstein, the case of motion, and all of that. Science is progressing. It is the case. It is true that there are some, you might call them loopholes in evolution, but universally, it is universally accepted, even by the Catholic Church, that it occurs. And you seem to be accepting that